Greetings and welcome to my new calculus channel once again. My name is John Gabriel. Today I'm going to discuss how my videos are interpreted by mainstream academics, and I just want to show you how they fail to pay attention to detail, how they fail to think from any point except that the perspective that they've been brainwashed to believe is the right one. So let's begin. Now, the 18th of June, I talked about this here, that you see written in blue, and its derivative in red. And what I showed is that this blue function does not actually have a derivative at this point here. And it doesn't have a derivative for the same reason that the absolute value function doesn't have a derivative at x equals to 0. But, excuse me, that's not the main problem. The main problem is that I actually made a comment, first comment which I pinned, and this commenter or this contributor, Malachi Wadass, fails to understand, but continues to try to show that, that he actually understands what's going on and that somehow I'm wrong. But I'll let you read the comments there, but I'm going to show you and pay attention to this. So what he did was he went ahead and just used the general rules that he learned like a little parrot in calculus. And so he found that, yes, the derivative is defined at x is equal to 4. But that's not how the mainstream derivative in calculus is defined. You have to use the original definition, which is taking the limit from the left-hand side and the limit from the right-hand side. That's what mainstream math academics do. So here's the applet that I created, and this is the same blue function in its derivative. And so if you take the tangent line coming from the right, notice that it's always positive, okay? And by the way, the value of h doesn't really matter. It can be any value except 0, of course, which is fine because h is not allowed to be 0. So if we put that on the point of tangency, we've got r is equal to 0.6. But notice on this side, it's always negative. And if we get to the point of tangency there, it's negative 0.6. So obviously, the left-hand limit is not equal to the right-hand limit. Ironically, this function here has a value at x is equal to 4. It's 0. So what the dimwits of mainstream academic mathematics academia don't understand is that you cannot sometimes have a derivative at an inflection point and sometimes not. In this case here, there is a tangent line. According to those fools, there actually isn't, because a tangent line may never cross a curve at the point of tangency. Okay, that's all that matters. I don't care about other parts of the curve, just the point of tangency. So the morons don't realize that this tangent line here is a vertical tangent line. Okay, and so one wouldn't really need to care too much about that because we're looking at the blue function, aren't we? So we're looking at tangent lines on this function. So one might be tempted to think that that would be the tangent line 0, which corresponds with this value down here. But that's not the case, because the limit from this side is always negative, okay? And the limit from this side is always positive. So for the very same reason as the absolute value function, this also doesn't have a limit at x is equal to 4 that is equal to the same value from both sides. But ironically, it has, if you calculate the derivative using the general methods or properties that one is taught in calculus. Well, I just wanted to show you how absolutely broken your mainstream calculus is, and that your mathematics professors and teachers are absolute morons who've never understood calculus. And they're wasting your time. They're teaching you junk concepts. They're basically not helping you to understand why it is that calculus works. And here I am, a voice crying out in the wilderness, telling you the truth about all these things. I have come up with the answers. But the hypocritical, evil, jealous cranks of mainstream academia refuse to acknowledge that I am correct. And so I'm going to leave it at that. I've put a very nice little quote inside here in the pinned comment, and you should read this quote. It says, "I know that most men and women, including those at ease with problems of the greatest complexity, can seldom accept even the simplest and most obvious truth, if it be such as would oblige them to admit the falsity of conclusions which they have delighted in explaining to colleagues, morons like themselves, which they have proudly taught to others, and which they have woven thread by thread into the fabric of their lives." Well, if you're not already a subscriber, become a subscriber to my channel. I do know better than you or anybody else, and I am much, much smarter than anyone on the planet can be in 1,000 years. I am thousands of years ahead of any other math academic. It's a fact. It's not arrogance. It's just a fact. So, for enlightening you, thank me by donating credits or money to my channel. I could easily use that, and I'll place a link to where you can do that. So till next time, I'm John Gabriel, and this is a New Calculus channel. Goodbye.